The Predator is Acer's attempt at gaining reputation in the laptop gaming market. Did they succeed? Absolutely. First, let's check out the specs. This rig has a Skylake i7 processor, 16 gigs of DDR4 dual-channel memory, a terabyte 7200 RPM storage drive, and a 256 gigabyte storage SSD, which is fast. This also is configured with a 15.6-inch 1920 by 1080 matte screen, the very high-end NVIDIA GeForce GTX 980M with 4 gigabytes of GDDR5 video memory, 4 USB inputs, also HDMI, DisplayPort, SD card slot, a very welcome Ethernet jack, and even the brand new Thunderbolt C 3.1 port. The first thing you'll notice when you power on the Predator is the snappy NVMe SSD. It is fast and makes the entire system feel more responsive. The default configuration for this model also includes that terabyte 7200 RPM storage drive, although there are other options available. You'll notice the keyboard has very little flex, and the chiclet keyboard's very responsive with a great tactile feel. The WASD keys are very pronounced, which is great if you're an FPS fan, and I especially appreciated the arrow keys being set aside from the rest of the keyboard for the truck driving games, which I unfortunately enjoy a lot. You would think that a 1920 by 1080 matte screen would look archaic in the era of more 4K screens, but the Acer Predator display is actually bright, shows great color accuracy, and the fact that Acer chose to forego those higher-res screens pays off big time when it comes to battery. Acer claims 6-hour battery life, and actually in some cases that's a conservative estimate in real-world use. I have found that using at full brightness with just regular internet browsing, I can get over 6 hours untethered. Unbelievable. And that is amazing considering most battery claims from manufacturers are based on 50% brightness in very light usage scenarios. If there is any negative to the Predator, it is the weight. Clocking in at just 8 pounds or a little bit south of that, that is heavy for a 15-inch laptop. Big kudos to Acer, though, on the accessibility of the Predator. Just 2 small Phillips screws on the bottom panel allow you access to the installed SSD and storage drive. Plus, Acer did upgraders a huge favor by installing the RAM under the keyboard, leaving the other 2 open slots in the bottom panel. And where the Predator really shines, though, is in thermals. Running Furmark, the GPU would barely touch 70 degrees Celsius, and the chassis always remains cool to the touch on top and bottom, thanks in no small part to great ventilation in the back of the Predator. What about real-world gameplay? The Predator kills everything you can throw at it, basically, running Dirt Rally at native res on Ultra, easily averaging nearly 80 frames per second, never dipping below 60. Same story for Rise of the Tomb Raider, Diablo 3, The Witcher 3, and the American Truck Simulator. There's one you don't see Let's Play videos on very often. This configuration will run you just south of $1,900, although there is a version with a smaller SSD and the 970M going for around $1,400, which is a great value. As far as the look of the chassis, that's either going to appeal to you or it won't. It is definitely up to personal taste and definitely a bit of a throwback in that department, but something that definitely I appreciated. If you're in the market for a gaming laptop, the Predator should be on your short list. Great thermal performance, amazing battery life, while remaining very upgradable, makes for a very potent combination. If you can get past the relatively heavy weight for a 15-inch laptop, please check out the Predator.